Good afternoon, Mayor Christensen, Superintendent DeBrucy, State Representative Oltrino, faculty and staff, ladies and gentlemen, and of course, the graduating class of 2015. Before I continue, I would like to acknowledge my fellow class officers. Joshua Cronin as Vice President, Samantha Kiernan as Secretary, Mark Ortiz as Treasurer, Caitlin Wang as Student Council Leader, and Arizona McDonald as Publicist. Please give them a round of applause because without them, all the hard work behind fundraisers, prom, and today would not happen. I was able to create the best memories and friendship while working with them. Also, I would like to thank my family for supporting me. And lastly, I would like to give my gratitude and appreciation to our class advisors, Paula Valente and Bernice Diaz. They have spent more than a handful of hours supporting us. They have taught us what it is like to give back to the Malden community and to have passion and dedication towards the things they love. And those are only some of the things that these two women have taught us. They are ideal role models. I am particularly grateful to them for being examples of strong, powerful women. So thank you, Mrs. Valente and Ms. Diaz, for your dedication and hard work. We love you. I can go on about how successful this class has been in terms of the amount of money we raised and how we are able to support each other through almost anything. I can write about how this class progressed, how we grew, and how we overcame adversity. Instead, I wrote this. We are here today on the brink of the future. Our future is no longer far away. It is here, and it is today. We began high school as children at the age of 14, but now we depart as adults. We have learned the basic knowledge that will be used as the infrastructure to propel us to the future. Some of us will continue on to college and the military, while others go directly into the workforce. Either way, we are all creating our own unique paths. One thing I know about all of our futures is that it does not matter where we go or what we do. We will all face hardship. But there's one thing that I ask from all of you and also myself. It is to face those obstacles fearlessly and with an open mind. We must understand that everything is not handed to us on a silver platter, and failure is another way to learn. We must learn that hard work and dedication is the recipe to success, and that passion, time, and commitment trumps intellect. We must also understand that there will be no satisfaction from just getting by in life. That does not change the world. We must have the mindset to transcend everything that we do and aspire for prosperity. We must know that our achievements matter, and here is one way of seeing it. Every single accomplishment that we have gained is in addition to our world's accomplishments. Our personal achievements are not only rewarding, but also a contribution to making this world a better place. When we succeed, we are in a position to learn and give rather than receive. Although it may seem almost impossible to have the power to provoke the entire world to change for the better, it is still possible to have the willpower to achieve for ourselves, our families, and the Malden community. So here is our task. We need to do all we can to reach our full potential, be effective everywhere, anywhere, and be passionate in whatever we do. So today, we begin our lives. Today, we are no longer children, we are adults. Today, we become responsible to someone other than ourselves and our parents. We are responsible for more than just our grades. Today, we become responsible to the world, to the future, to all the possibilities that life has to offer. Starting today, our job is to be open-minded, willing to learn, and ready. Ready to take on life, to take on responsibilities and possibilities. Today, my friends, our lives begin, and I, for one, cannot wait. Congratulations, class of 2015.
Today is a day that represents moving on to a new stage in life for many of us here. But to be able to move on to the future, I believe that reflecting on the past is necessary. I'd like to open up my speech with a little story that happened to me last Saturday at the Division I state track meet. My teammate Victoria Hannafin and I ran into a delightful family while looking for a good place to record races. We found such a place on top of a metal stand near the finish line. There was a mother and son already sitting there, but the stand was roomy and they didn't seem to have a problem with us being there. They only huddled closer to each other and kept looking at us out of the corner of their eyes. Now, both my teammate and I do not cut an impressive figure. Victoria is a scrawny little thing who ate sticks of butter as a child, and still does sometimes. I, on the other hand, had rippling biceps and rock-hard abs, but I was also 5'2" and a full head shorter than the whole family. We didn't think we were intimidating enough to annoy the family. Turns out we were. The father of the family came back and purposefully blocked our camera right as our other teammate was passing the finish line. He then told us to get off the stand because, quote, "You are ruining my day out with my family." Vicky and I refused because he knew what he was doing when he blocked our camera. And we felt that we had the right to be where we were. The family did not take our rejection well, and the situation de-evolved into insults about our parents, our town, and my race. For over 3 hours, Vicky and I sat there being told that we were only acting out because we lack attention at home. We sat there listening to the parents tell their son that they were grateful kids like us weren't normal in their own town. The son and dad planned to pour water on our heads. The woman left to go to the bathroom at one point and told her son to keep an eye on our bag because I might steal something. Staying on the stand became a passive fight we couldn't lose, not to mention that it really was the best place to record races. Of course, we talked back to the family. They responded by literally shushing us and snapping their fingers in my face whenever I would say something. They were amazed I knew English and asked me when I learned it, when I came to this country, and when I would go back to where I came from. At one point, I accidentally brushed against the woman's leg, and she jumped away, looking disgusted. I won't lie, the experience hurt me because at no point did the family ever look at me as an equal. It made me feel that no matter what I accomplished, I would always be less than people like them. It was dehumanizing, it was unacceptable, and it happened. One of the first things I've learned in life was that I had to work twice as hard to even get a chance of getting half as far as some people. Discrimination will always exist, but I believe that this town has a head start on truly understanding equality. Malden is special in that things like that don't happen as often as in other towns. The barriers that race and class often erect aren't as strong in this town. It is because of Malden's diversity that I was able to get out of my comfort zone. In the 4th grade, made it as the valedictorian. You made it, Eugene. I'm proud of you. I'd like to give special mention to Matt Evans, who has just finished his last year of teaching at Malden High. I'm sorry your favorite students couldn't get you a ticket for a retirement cruise on the Odyssey, but none of us have jobs. My last shout out is to the cross country and track team. I made most of my high school friends because they were on the team at some point, and joining the team was one of my best decisions in high school. Coach Londino taught me to stay hungry and never settle for the best. I've always hated him during workouts, but now that I don't have practices anymore, I'm only grateful to him. In the words of Chimmer Saika Barillo, "Arigato Londino Kochi, it's been a good run. You really are the Ichiban." I want everyone to remember that we are all going to get rolled over at some point in our lives. But what's important is that you never give up, you never let it get you down. You just got to run around it and never let your courage desert you. Don't ever let it make you cry, and to Malden I'll never say goodbye.
I told him I was already short enough, but he didn't really buy it. So that being said, good afternoon, Mayor Christensen, Superintendent DeRusi, State Representative Oltrino, faculty and staff, ladies and gentlemen, and of course, my fellow classmates. I'd like to start off with a quote by the great Thomas Edison. The three great essentials to achieve anything worthwhile are first, hard work, second, stick-to-itiveness, and third, common sense. Now, for those of you who know me, I'm still working on the common sense part, and I'm struggling, but hard work and stick-to-itiveness are the two reasons why I'm standing here today. When many of you look at me, you see a mini female version of Sheldon Cooper from The Big Bang Theory, probably stemming from my frequented chemistry or related math tweets. While I'm flattered by this comparison to a fictional scientific role model of mine, I am no Sheldon Cooper, let me tell you that. However, I am surrounded by brilliant and gifted people, much like him, which makes me so humbled to be second in this very amazing class. So many of you are far more intelligent than myself and have dreams and aspirations that exceed my own. This may sound like I'm putting myself down, but I'm trying to point out that I've struggled these past 4 years. While I do well in my classes and athletics, nothing has ever come as easily as it appears for me. I've had to work extraordinarily hard in the classroom and on the field to try and keep pace with my exemplary peers. So as we move on after today to undertake new and better endeavors, never let your natural ability suppress or dictate the goals you set for yourselves. Hard work can get you to places you would have never even imagined. As for Edison's advice on stick-to-itiveness, I'm not quite sure he envisioned anyone taking his advice as literally as I have. I think more than a few teachers have regretted uttering the line, "Olivia, come by my room anytime you need help or clarification," because those situations tended to arise pretty often, and I can see some of them shaking their heads right now, So often did I go and seek help that I'm amazed I wasn't greeted with, "Olivia, please keep out fine." My teammates as well probably regret agreeing to carpool me to practice, often being forced to wait while I just had to perfect one more flipper dance. I would like to thank my family, especially my mom, my teachers, coaches, and peers for supporting me throughout these past 4 years and indulging in my stick-to-itiveness. So to my fellow classmates, I urge you all to stick to your dreams and passions and try to surround yourself with people that support those dreams like you have all done for me. Now reflecting back, I think there's a particular story that best exemplifies my hard work and stick-to-itiveness. Sophomore year, I decided to take advanced placement United States history. I was terrified, absolutely terrified actually, especially because it was my first AP class. I distinctly remember Mr. Brown reassuring me as I cried in his office for 2 straight days. I'm sure he loved that. He pushed me to stick with it, and I can never thank him enough for believing in me when I didn't believe in myself, and also pushing me to challenge myself, which I will continue to do in the years ahead. I encourage you all to push through adverse tasks while setting goals that may seem overambitious. Unfortunately, for me, the common sense portion of Dr. Edison's advice is where the good doctor and I part ways. As my friends and teachers can attest to, despite my hard work and stick-to-itiveness, I've always been encompassed by the unsettling feeling that perhaps by the time an assessment strolled around, my grasp on the topic at hand might be diminished. While common sense would suggest I was fully prepared, anxiety and common sense do not make good bedfellows. Trust me. To settle this anxiety, Losing myself in my studies became the solution. So instead of reveling in my youth, I often ended those lonely, study-obsessed nights by logging on to Instagram or Twitter to see all the funs my peers were having, thus my only hint of social interaction. The point I'm getting at is that common sense dictates that I step back and enjoy the fruits of this hard work, going out with friends, relaxing on the weekdays when I'm done with my homework instead of self-assigning more. But the school anxiety often prevented such social enjoyment. I want all of you to have the common sense I often lacked, to know that if you are working to your fullest potential, just go out and have some fun. In closing, I've come to realize, while it is true academic success will always be my priority, enjoying life is just as valuable. As I look out into the crowd of my classmates, all preparing to go on to different outlets in life, I urge you to always work hard and stick to it, whatever your it may be. By taking this path, you will go to the places you've so long dreamt of going. But just remember, in the journeys that commence as we throw our caps up in the air in a few short moments, have the common sense to never lose sight of having fun, because that really is what life is all about. I now understand what it means to live a little, and it's thanks to you guys. It's been real, class of 2015.
Assalamu alaikum. 大家好，大家好，Bonjour, sa cafe. Buon pomeriggio a tutti. Buona tarde. Buenas tardes. Ciao chi vi vuoi caffè. Indeed, what a good afternoon it is. See, I had a line here that said that it's a good afternoon because train hasn't interrupted me yet. But if you look over there, train's about to interrupt me. So let's just, for the sake of the speech, still say that it's a good afternoon. But what an incredible group of people we have here today. Somehow, this stadium has managed to attract people from all over the world. But why are we here when there are so many other things that we could be doing on this fine afternoon? Like waiting for the train. A more efficient way to distribute diplomas would be to send them in the mail. But maybe somewhere along the line, someone was like, these kids should have a huge ceremony so that they can celebrate surviving insert teacher's names in class. You guys are probably thinking of your teachers right now. I'm the teacher that helped me edit the speech told me that I can't include that teacher's name, so he will know who he is. And then these people that were organizing these ceremonies were like, you know, these kids should probably bring their parents and families so they can celebrate being able to kick the kids out of the house. Don't tell the parents this now, but some of us will probably be back 4 years later when we're college graduates looking for a job. Ideally, I like to think that this diverse group of people is gathered here today to celebrate what our families have accomplished. Many of us here are immigrants or children of immigrants. And as an immigrant myself, I remember the challenges I faced. I remember sitting in a classroom unable to understand my teacher and my classmates. And somehow, I, like many other immigrants, have found a better life than the one that we left behind. Such is the ideal of the American dream. In Malden, that American dream is ever present. Even though history tells us that putting so many different people so close together is a recipe for disaster and conflict, we have beaten the odds. We have graduated a group of individuals that create support networks for each other. Because of that, we should be gathering here today. Graduates, I challenge you to use the next hour and a half waiting for your diplomas wisely. Don't let this time be squandered. Think about those who helped you get to where you are today. Think about how you're going to thank them when this ceremony is over. And above all, think about how you will continue to thank them by fulfilling your potential. Graduates, we have beaten the odds again when we look at the demographics of Malden High School. Well over half of us receive free and reduced lunch. Statistically speaking, that decreases our chance of graduation. Yet, here we are, the largest graduating class in almost 30 years, ready to receive our diplomas, ready to face the world, ready to make history. Let's be honest. We'll continue to wait for the train, since this happens to be a theme of our Malden High School graduation. But let's be honest, most of you aren't going to remember these things that I'm saying to you now. It's just how the human brain works. Believe me, I've sat in those stands several times before, and every time I promise myself, I'll remember what the person is saying. I might be number one in my class, but I certainly didn't remember much of what they were saying. So really, what is the point of me standing here? I would like to call this entertainment. Helen certainly made me the entertainment earlier. But I don't know if a few cheap laughs would really count as entertainment. I don't know if there is a point, but I certainly hope that I have given you something to reflect upon. Think of someone that deserves your appreciation today when you receive your diploma. A piece of paper that does a lousy attempt at summarizing all your struggles up until now. Give that diploma life and meaning when you show your appreciation today. When I considered showing my appreciation, I thought about all the people that asked me to shout them out today. And tangential or substantial, these people have all touched my life in some way or form. But I'm not going to call you out in front of all these people. You all deserve something more, and I can only begin to show my gratitude. Class of 2015, I wish you all the best.
First of all, I would also like to echo the words of Julie Lamb and recognize the hard work of your class advisors, Ms. Valenti and Ms. Diaz. Thank you, ladies. When thinking about what I wanted to say today, I thought about the collision of two important themes. Your motto, making history. But then I thought back to the t-shirt from your freshman year assembly. On the front it said, you can get there from here. And on the back, where is your there? You see, while you were trying to get from here to there, history was being made. A collective history and an individual one as well. Everyone has a story. Together, they make history. For many of our students, getting from here to there has simply become this, our high school graduation. At least a handful of students sitting in front of us dropped out, returned to school, some of them dropping out again, only to return again to get their diploma, to end up here. They got from here to there, not sure if they ever planned it this way. This is all part of making history. This is their story. Others sitting in front of us suffered from serious health issues, physical, emotional, were hospitalized, made it back to school, and now they will graduate. There for them is here, a very special moment and place. This is their history, part of our collective Malden High School story. For some of our students, getting from here to there means going from Malden High School to Harvard, Yale, into the Marines, to work, to Bunker Hill, UMass Boston or Amherst, year up, any number of 2-year or 4-year colleges and universities. They are making history. You can get there from here. Getting from here to there for some of our students also means sitting among us, we have a child soldier from Africa, refugees from different parts of the world, more than one homeless student. Getting there from here was actually more about getting here to MHS, wasn't it? Malden High School helped them change their story. They too are making history. When we look back, we will acknowledge that this is among the largest graduating classes in the last 30 years. This year, the school celebrated the 50th anniversary birthday of Nedlam, our lovable school mascot, the 75th anniversary of Junior Varieties, the 100th anniversary of the Blue and Gold newspaper, all part of making history. Making history and getting from here to there, two themes colliding. It means that when we look back at this class, we'll recall that this class had great victories and horrific personal losses. The roads traveled looked very different for each of us. Few of us sitting at the freshman assembly knew how we would get here, or is it there? Getting from here to there and making history can be logical, confusing, joyful, painful. You can get here. Where is your there? You're not there yet. My prayer for all of you is that you find your next there. And when you find it, tell your story, make history. Thank you very much, graduates of the 2000.